if I remember correctly, like each and every month. I was still in high school. I was always fighting. Okay, this thing is okay. I knew, this thing is wrong. But then it was working for me.
It's the only thing you could do to protect.
Even
so your defenses.
It was the national defense organism.
Until to a point where it almost ruined my life. You understand? Because I almost got arrested.
You've just stepped into An Empty Street, a podcast where we casually engage in difficult conversations about relationships, wealth, and health. We are just three curious gentlemen who ask questions almost about everything, and our aim is to find answers from others and within ourselves. We sit down every week to explore unaltered conversations. So let's walk the talk together, and welcome to the Empty Street Podcast.
In 3,
2,
1.
We're rolling. Welcome to the Empty Street Podcast.
Yeah, we're live. Another Tuesday, another day.
Another week.
With a group of friends.
I don't come alone as usual. We come.
So you got you.
This guy.
We've come bearing gifts.
In the way, can you hear you? I say.
so come very gifts.
Yeah.
So we'll let the gifts unwrap themselves.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of us yet again. It's been a very beautiful 2022. Now we're in 2023, and it comes with new pages, old issues, new resolutions. You know what I'm saying? So I am Nceba, and I would just like to give the platform to our guests that are sitting here today. Obviously, you know the rest of the crew: Sisonke, SK, Nceba, and Mr. Ali Ubutam Dala. You know. I would just like to ask the rest of the gents to just kindly introduce themselves.
Hola, Happy New Year, gents, and it's such an honor to be here. Like, I'm a huge fan of the podcast. My name is Thapelo. I'm a graphic designer by profession. Like, I've always watched the show, and I've always been meaning to ask you guys to call me to come to the show, and like, I'm really honored to be here. Like, on a serious note, man, on another high level.
Oh, welcome, man. Welcome.
I appreciate
Don't
that.
make a guy cry, man.
Some appreciation.
Hey, dog.
Give credit where it's due.
Hey,
Dope stuff.
Yeah, my friends. Thanks for having me here. I'm also a huge fan of the work that you guys are doing. The Empty Street. Empty Street.
Empty Street. No confuse, yeah. Empty Street.
Empty Street. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. Thank you for having me here. My name is Qiniso.
Appreciate it.
Powerful name, right?
Appreciate
Truth.
Sure, guys. My name is Mokela, so Qiniso. Yeah. Also a fan, yeah. I understand why now Ali always comes up with a lot of content on Monday.
Yeah.
Every time when I come across it, I'm a huge fan. I like what you guys are doing. Let's build our main.
I appreciate it. I appreciate Big Dog. So yeah, man, we here. We thought we'd just pave a way since February and there's a lot of issues, and then all the years there's been this trending thing we're leaving the girls when it's Valentine's. We're going to a men's conference for 3 days. So I think that's what we'll be doing right now. We'll be paving a way the entire February. We'll be having 3 episodes to just sort of have a little men's conference. It's here, it's within us guys, but these eyes are watching us to involve other people as well. And we have Chris. I'm sure you've seen Chris. He was the guy who was asking people.
I'm the forward guy that everybody knows now. I'm that forward guy.
It's fine.
The right information. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Proper. So he'll be the one introducing the men's conference and basically driving the ship of the conversation.
Yeah, no, I don't have my captain hat on today. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official men's conference. Yeah, we are talking about serious issues today. Yes. How we are heard. Yeah, see heard. Because every year, Bakulumang men's conference, I look for an address on Google. I don't find an official address.
Yeah.
So I'm like, where's this conference? You know what I'm saying? So we were like, nah. I came up to the gents. I'm like, gents, you know what? I love everything that you guys do. So can you please do something about actually officializing men's conference? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is what we have here on Saturday, the official first show of the men's conference. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome us into your consciousness through your screens and just embrace us as we are very truthful and honest with the issues that we're going to be underlining. Now, anyway, my gents, are we all good?
Yeah,
Proper.
100%.
How is the year? How is the year so far? Because we're just about to jump into the second month of the
You
year.
can't wait for February. You're broke.
Why can't you wait for February? Tell me.
Abantwana bathatha imali, Ju.
Bathatha imali. Who is that track? Imoti Tshontsha imali. Ke amangani?
Professor.
Yes,
Yeah.
Professor. Wena ke manga tshontshela imali mfana.
Bantwana.
Abantwana, Ju. Yo.
Abantwana.
Yeah, we needed this main conference. We must talk about this.
I know. Don't worry.
Men's conference with men's drink. Eh?
Yeah, no, most water, Joe. Water.
Water.
Yes. Water with
But
ice.
did you have
guys.
something to drink, love?
Yes, I've got lots of water.
Yeah, no,
And
we have
Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Hot condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, in these hot conditions. Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to be a man.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a man. We are men. We are increasing the temperature. But we are hot. We are the things. We are the alphas, and we are there to protect and serve. Being an alpha does not mean that you're going to be abusing your power. But a proper alpha is a person that actually protects and develops. That's just my opinion.
I think if you looked at the episode we had in January, we were just basically focusing on masculinity. So being an alpha means that you are tapping into your masculinity, and it's something I call it toxic masculinity. And you can't mix both in one sentence. You can't mix toxic and masculinity in one sentence. So it just has to be masculine. When you're masculine, you're masculine. When you're a toxic person, you're toxic. You're toxic.
It doesn't have to be.
So there's nothing as
categorized.
toxic masculinity because there's nothing called toxic femininity. So it has to be
My
masculinity. But yeah, let's pave the way with the conversation.
If
Where
we
are we
had to put a
starting?
mirror to these things, but anyway. Right, guys. So, my gents, as a machita, we go through challenges every day, guys. You know, we are not being sexist, you know, or gender biased by just touching on men issues, but it is the men's conference, so we're just here to help a lot of guys who are dealing with issues, primarily mental issues, because that is one of the biggest factors I think that are affecting guys today. Because Joe, whether you like it or not, as gents, we were taught to clean, whenever the situations, Baba, you fall down, you mustn't cry, you must lick your wound and move on, you know. But some wounds are very deep, and a simple lick is not going to help it. And unfortunately, most of our brothers aren't equipped properly to deal with certain challenges. That's why we find some of our brothers that are addicted to substance, and some of our brothers are just really, really violent towards situations that they could just, you know, treat differently, you know. So honestly, our efforts today are just to try to combat all of those things, so that in the long run we can have a society with more socially and emotionally conscious men, so that we don't have all these issues that our sisters are crying about. Because like sisters, we know men out there are doing some things, but it's not every guy, and unfortunately we can't justify what these people are doing. Wrong ke wrong, you know what I'm saying? But if we can just teach the next generation of men the difference between right and wrong, and the benefits of doing right over wrong, I think that would be a good step in the right direction. So, without further ado, guys, please tell me, guys. Now I just want to know, now, what do you think makes up a guy's character, in your opinion? I just want to find out from you guys.
Are we gonna go person by person or?
Whomever
Anyone who
feels
feels like talking can,
like sharing their opinion.
Can step in.
Not to be honest, I'll say it's the foundation, show, where you come from. It might not necessarily say it will dictate how you become, but the foundation. You will choose what you want to be from the foundation. It's either if you come from a good family, if I would say, you would want to remain in that good family. If you come from those toxic families, you would say that now I look forward to creating a good family for my own family that I'm going to have one day. Yeah.
And what kind of foundation?
Where you grow up. Not saying that you need to be in a wealthy family, but then, you know, when you're in a family that whereby you can trust people that you live in. I mean, there's many guys that come from families whereby they don't trust even their family members, right? They tend to treat their friends as their family, right? Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Values, basically.
Yeah, I was about to say,
values.
like, I think the values and morals that you kind of acquire as you grow up,
Yeah.
you know, they kind of make or break you.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're taught the wrong thing at a very young age, you grow up adopting those habits and then become that person later in life. You know, because you don't obviously let go of that. And then those influences get passed down to the next person you come across with. Because whether we like it or not, at one point or another, we take something from each other.
Yeah.
You know, be it good or bad. You know, so those also build up your character. You know, and we spoke about developing your character, I think, earlier last year.
Yeah.
So those small things that you come across on a daily, they kind of shape and mold you into who you then later become, and it's what you choose to consume.
Yeah.
That helps who you actually then become, and then falls into the man's character, as we were saying.
Yeah.
Also, like growing up, when you're a child, I think it's not that easy to establish between what's wrong and what's right. And I think with our inception in a way, like those ideas and all those things, like they incepted into your mind. And then you end up practicing them. This is toxic. That's when you start realizing this is wrong, this is right. But before you go on, see what's wrong, what's right, really, I understand. And things happen around you. Now I want maybe like every day.
Yeah.
I understand and then things are into right. Now most of the things more strategy, you end up beating other kids, then you adapt to that, and you affect lady.
So honestly speaking, from what you're saying, bro, I'm really picking up a valid point here, which child traumas they are a contributing factor towards how a person's character is developed.
Sure.
Because I mean, from what you say is that from growing up, you're exposed to so many things. From growing up, you're exposed to so many things, and because of those things, remember, some people end up adopting them. You know, I mean, there are some instances whereby a guy would grow up in an abusive home, but then now because of that, he will choose to be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, you find the same person, another person in the same situation, and they choose to adopt in that. So I feel like also how people deal with childhood traumas. Would you agree with me to say that childhood traumas need to be dealt with in a better way, unlike people just being blind to it? Whatever I'm doing as an adult, a kid does not see, because my actions today actually contribute to this man's character in the future, you know.
Yeah.
So I think childhood traumas are very traumatic things. That actually.
I think another thing Thapelo was highlighting, Wuti, as Ingos, you can't really tell what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
So you might see something happening, but not actually be able to distinguish which now. Seeing a time beat up Makriza is not normal, you know. And then you step out the house as an older person, you gain perspective, and you see things from a different light, and then you're born with name. what I was experiencing back then wasn't actually normal.
It's not
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
that's when you realize that you were experiencing like a huge amount of like traumatic things, but you didn't even know how to reciprocate all of that
Yeah.
and understand it. You know, so I think also just being a kid, I don't know, as people like to say, black people don't like therapy, but I feel like that's a thing of the past now, because it
Yeah.
seems like more and more people are getting into therapy.
Yeah.
You know, so those kind of things also must do away with those kind of stigmas. We would die. How else are you gonna deal with
How
things?
else are you gonna
And
deal with your
another
ego?
thing is we become so naive as people. For instance, if there's no traumatic event that you can recall which happened in your childhood, because as a child you couldn't see what's wrong or right.
Yeah.
You couldn't distinguish between the both. You're like, oh, I'm fine, I don't need therapy.
Yeah.
Now I'm fine. But crazy thing is that for the past 5 months, since September, it's Feb now. For the past 5 months, I've been like interested in studying trauma, childhood trauma. So one of the things I got to come across is that all of us are traumatized. Like trauma could come from like not that significant event that happened that you can pinpoint to, yeah, that was a traumatic event. But trauma could happen in a case you're just 5 months old and you are thirsty. And you're crying now, you want water because you can't speak, and then your mom takes time to give you water because she doesn't know why you're crying. She gets frustrated, and for you as a child, now you can't make something out of that situation. So what you do is your mind tries to protect you, and your defense mechanisms come
Kick in,
up,
yeah.
and what you make out of that situation is, maybe there's something wrong with me. That's why my mother doesn't fulfill my needs at this moment.
Yeah.
So that's what you make out of that situation. And then you get to grow up, you get into a relationship, and now you are this person who gets triggered in a certain way, and you become a needy person, or a person who says, hi, I'm independent, I don't need people. And you don't understand where that's coming from. And when you look at your childhood, you don't have a memory of that.
Because your mind is actually protected you from those.
You don't see anything wrong with it. But when you go to therapy, you'll actually dive into those things and you get to understand your childhood as well.
Because I feel like they unlock so many parts of your brain that, as you were
Exactly.
saying, that get blocked out because your brain is like trying to protect you from all of those kind of experiences, you know. So I've never went through like that whole like therapy session, you know, but just seeing it from like a third person's perspective is that it seems like even things it's like an assisting type of tool where they help you try and tap into the parts of your brain that you can't really reach had you
By
been
yourself.
on your own.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously thought-provoking questions. You have to sit and think.
And think, dog.
You know,
and
which-
sometimes most people must kuluma about the childhood trauma. Most people are like, I don't remember, and so it doesn't affect me. And then it kind of reflects from a personality yabo or a character yabo as they grow up, and they ask themselves, why am I reacting this way? Like that's another thing I think as gents we should really tap into mostly with our feelings, because they say we are not in touch with our feelings. So what we should do all the time is when we react a certain way, we should ask ourselves, why am I reacting this way? And then before that, what made me feel this way so that I can react this way? And then you ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? And then you'll get to be closer to the root of where the problem is.
So I just want to ask, Jens, have you you just said that you never really experienced any personal traumas, but you
not traumas, but like therapy. I've never went to
therapy.
Therapy.
All right. So what I want to find out,
What
I want to find out from every one of us guys is that have we each experienced like child trauma, anything light, big, and how has that impacted in the person that you are today? I think we can start from this end and
Let's start.
you may start first, man, and then I cannot talk.
Okay, it's fine. Let me start.
Sure.
Yeah. For me, I remember I was once bullied I was still growing up. So it affected me a lot. Growing up meant like without anyone to defend me. I grew up like without my parents. I was staying in Joburg, I was staying in KZN. So I had no one around like, to protect me. And, like, maybe I do something wrong, even though like as a kid you need to be punished. But, let's say some of the family members were treating me somehow, even at school. You understand? Maybe other kids, maybe they will try to bully you and then go home and report, and then you have someone like to protect you. You understand? So like I didn't have that. You understand? So that's when I started like, okay, if someone provokes me or makes me angry, I'll fight back. You understand? So if I remember correctly, like each and every month, I was still in high school, I was always fighting. Okay, this thing is okay. I knew, this thing is wrong. But then it was working for me.
It's the only thing you could do to protect
fight back. Even
so your defenses
It was the
were
natural
up.
defense mechanism.
Until to a point where it almost ruined my life. You understand? Because I almost got arrested while I was doing my retreat. And then it didn't happen.
But when's the end on?
Keep it fine.
I don't want to ask you, maybe you might get in trouble. But just don't just touch base, tell us the truth.
I get So this other day again, I cover no more Kelly or my community. Yeah, because it's okay. So man cover na ilo Kelly. Akumezi ngizidena zange ngizengiyithandisise. Ngingene ngempama.
Hey, GPV.
Straight. Angimngena ngempama kanti uzofuna ukufight. Uzibona ngathi ngintwana.
Awufuna uzibambe.
Yena useqedile. Strong.
Yeah.
Ngamtrapa ngalimala nje.
Hey.
Atumba umlomo. Things like that. And then,
Yeah, we're not promoting what is
No,
said.
yeah, so I understand. And then but then so it youngsters again, like I would say is the type of the gangs that I hang around with.
Yeah.
2016, how much did you engage now? You understand? So we were much that cool. You understand? Like namazi ngayilento leyazi yaphuma umqondo like because lokho ukuzudlula umuntu njengoba isishutela kuzoba khona umuntu uzona something back then blind. You understand? So bekindlela bengisolva ngayo inkinga until I met different people and then
So do you think you're still that kind of person that gets triggered quickly, or now you can actually like?
No, not really. But then I'll say I can still be triggered, but not that easily. You understand? So
Manje, would you say it's a feeling that you are in control of, that you are aware of?
100%.
Yeah.
But now, again, then you know, also don't participate in time. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then that same like kind of I don't know if it's an emotion or whatever, but that kind of person who you were, how do you, in terms of a relationship, how do you then treat it?
Yeah,
if you
like,
get angered in a relationship, do you
like
react as quickly?
Because I'm a relationship, sometimes
Mama
like you're just looking for the button.
Yeah.
Dog.
So
Let's see if it
for
works.
me, you know, it's
or you keep your cool, or
back then or now.
No, now.
Because I'm sure all of these things happened back then. But now we're saying how does that part of your life, how has it affected your relationship?
It affected, but now I'm improving. You understand? Because back then, like, your relationship was being out 2 months.
Yeah.
You understand? So man, you like second call of you.
But patient.
Yeah, but patient. Going telephone reflects. Okay. You solve one you understand? But then not 100%. I'm not 100% there. But I'm getting there.
You're getting there. It's a process.
Proper.
I know. So I understand, Gucci. What you actually needed was just a little bit of direction. Gucci, no, Yes, go to Shaya, nah, man, but it was really unfortunate what happened. But I'm glad that you're actually in a space whereby you're actually a better person than you used to be, even though your reaction was provoked by externals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think where you are right now, you are in a more emotional, better stage of which, you know, even if we are Kasu, I can just leave you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if taking a step back into time, if I remember the most traumatic thing that I went through in Nairobi, always I'd say my stepfather and my mother. I grew up in a very abusive family, right? But it was between the parents, never on me,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So yeah, my stepfather would manhandle my mother. So it was very rough. It was very rough. I remember one morning I could hear him beating up my mother. He used to do boxing the guy.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Woke up in the morning and would hear the sounds in their bedroom, and then the door was locked. And then my stepfather just said, bring me ice. Right? And sometimes I get so confused with what the excuse that men make. She hit the wall. Doesn't make sense. How do you hit the wall? You can clearly see that it's
not a wall.
It's
Yeah,
not a wall, Joe.
Yeah.
You can't just walk into a wall and open blue eye.
Yeah.
It doesn't make
So
sense.
how did it make you feel when I was a kid?
I'll tell you, bruh. You know, we can suppress the feelings. If I was very close to my mother, the man I am today, I'll say I owe it to my mother. Like, my father was absent. I only met my father when I was doing my masters. Came to visit me at UJ. Like, that was the first time I met him. It was strange. But my mother and my stepmother, they divorced very early. I was doing grade 6, if I remember carefully. So throughout this, up until master, it was me, my mother.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that woman carved me to be the man that I am today. I understand even my wife very well. I raise a stepchild myself, and I'm very strict. Very strict. We fight here and I. Yeah, we fight a lot. And sometimes I feel like I maybe be expecting a lot out of him. After sitting down, of course, that's when I come back and say, but then you've been through this thing. You must understand what he's going through.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm very strict when it comes to him. Another thing that what it made me is like, my family knows. Don't provoke my wife. I'll choose my wife over anybody. You need to protect that woman entity of yours. You need to protect it, right? And then comes the kids. You need to protect. So even my external family knows that. No, that's on that one. You don't go. I would cut them.
Yeah.
If they provoke. Seeing how I grew up, seeing how my mother was affected. So
Yeah.
that's where I am now.
So I wanna quickly find out, how did you, like, what were the steps that you took to recover from the traumatic experience of your stepfather doing that to becoming the man that you are right now?
Cho, I'll be honest with you. There was a question. There was an activity. This was in primary school. It was an activity. This was after my stepfather left the house. An activity in class, they wanted us to write something, the worst thing that's happening in our lives, and I couldn't keep it away. I just wrote it there. I was at my worst moments. My grades fell. Teachers didn't understand what was happening with me. So I just wrote it. I put it there in black and white, right? And we were sitting in groups, and each group they were given. We were supposed to write on a piece of paper. Each group was given all different pieces of paper, and you had to, out of them, choose the worst.
Yeah.
Right, the one that was going through the worst. Just to understand that different people go through different situations, right? And at the end, we had to choose the one that was experiencing the worst in class. Out of everybody in class, and that was me.
Shit.
That was me, right? And my best friend was in class, same class as me, and he knew what I was going through. right? So I came out clean with them, and I told them that we are not supposed to tell anybody that if it was who wrote this, but I came out to everybody and told them, no, it's me that wrote that thing. And even in class, my classmates started to understand the person what I was going through. Yeah. So, like you, my friend, I never had to go. I haven't been to therapy, right? But I do feel like if I went to therapy, I'll be a better father eventually, a better husband. Yeah.
But I think like just for me, judging you right now, I think you are that. You know, it's not a matter of if you had this, you are that, my guy, because now you can critically evaluate yourself and try to relate to your son's issues based on what you had back then. So yeah, man, I think you are a better person. It's not a matter of you would have been. In my opinion, you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, Joe, thank you for sharing that.
Sure,
that was
no
deep. That was really deep. Cut deep.
No tears.
No, bro, just water.
Okay, where's Kleenex must sponsor this thing.
Nah, bro, but this is how we like just, cover our tears, bro.
Yeah.
With water.
With water. Big bro Ali, how you doing, bro?
None.
Any experiences that you'd like to share?
For now, no.
Nah.
I'll give it to the guest.
Yeah, I just wanted to just share mine. So I also have well, it's not first hand, it was my best friend at the time. So me and my best friend were close, and I used to sleep over at his house. Normally 4 to 5 times a week. Even at home, they would know I
That's
eat
where you
dinner
are.
there. But so my best friend had a stepmom. So his father would basically beat up the stepmom. And I remember one time I was sleeping over, Joe, and I woke up to the sounds of, noise. Kum, 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 shit just, and then the lady was crying. I think I was 8 or 9 years old. And then waking up to that, I woke up my friend. I'm like, bro, Dinsa, what's going on? And I remember my nigga just looking at me and be like, bruh, let's just go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't understand what the hell was going on at the time. But because me, I just minded my business. Like, hey, okay, sharp, I'll go to sleep. But I didn't sleep throughout that night because of all that nonsense, And then after that one thing happened, I started asking my friend a bit more intimate questions with regards to, his father and his stepmom's relationship. And after 2 weeks of poking, I finally got the answer. And the answer was that the mom passed away from unexplained reasons.
Shit.
After having an argument with the dad. And now this is happening. And then now, the guy was a pretty tempered person, like he wouldn't take nonsense. If you come at him with something, even if it's small, bro, he would lash out. So that for me, how that impacted me, Joe, was that it gave me a more personal experience of the effects of how abuse, impacts on other people, especially the kids.
Yeah.
Because now you are so angry from home, then when you step out of the yard and somebody just steps on your shoe, bro, you're gonna release all of that on that person.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro, like for me, I learned that I'm not justifying violence, but I think sometimes we just have to look beyond the immediate problem. You know what I'm saying? Because some people might kill each other over 5 rand, but you never know which the person who killed the other person was going through some other things behind that. So I learned people from every angle, Joe, regardless of who they are or what their bank balance are like. If they have an issue with anger and whatnot, I think it's best to just sit them down, poke, as long as you can, as gently as you can, up until you find out. Because I managed to help my friend get a therapy at school. At my school, they had these whole TUT students come and conduct the therapy. I got speech therapy because of my stuttering. He got that psychological whatever, right? And I can tell you guys today, Gucci, this friend of mine right now is happy. He has 3 kids even. Yeah. 3 kids, that's a lot. Anyway, he has 3 kids, even one son, and he's never laid a hand on one girlfriend, bro.
Yeah.
Not even one. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud of this friend of mine. I'm not gonna name drop, but I'm really proud of this friend of mine because he's that one example that I can safely say, Guti, I can bet my life on that. He came from a really stupid situation but chose to take the positive side of it.
Yeah, different.
You know what I'm saying? So that is just my experience based on, you know, childhood traumas that, you know, kind of flipped us to be who we are. And me today, from that thing, I've never thought of lifting a hand. Even before that, okay, well, I was still a kid, but after that, I decided, Gucci, this is something that I would never do.
Yeah.
Simply because of how it affected my best friend at the time. You know? So yeah, man, that's my soppy story.
Yeah. No, I think you were the great friend to that friend, and I think it gets to prove with you the type of people that you really surround yourself with, like from a very young age. Yeah, they actually do have an impact on who you become and how you act and how you do things, how you behave. So I think that's the most important thing also we should be looking at. As it helped you to move from the people you were hanging around with and hang with other people that could make you feel like it's not necessary anymore to be easily triggered and do whatever you might be harmful to the other person and yourself as well. Yeah, one. And sometimes it's people who can really save your life.
Yeah.
Just like your friend, you really saved his life.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, one.
But I'm
I
still
never thought
shocked
about
that-
it in that way, but yeah.
Yeah, he started. It doesn't sound like somebody. that
And he
started.
always says this. He
Yeah.
always says he started.
Even
Even
now.
Yes, I do start like
Even now.
no. We should play this
Even
clip
now.
back, I say.
Yeah, this nigga is.
Now he's gonna try
No, but guys, just listen.
Did you get any hits growing up with your starter?
Any hits how?
Like people actually mocking you for it?
Roasting you and
Bro,
stuff.
I was mocked from scratch.
How did that made you feel? Is it
Yeah, that's a
why
childhood
now?
trauma there.
Yeah,
feel the
yeah,
way
yeah,
you feel?
yeah.
Because-
You know why? Let me be honest. No, let me be honest with you guys, man. I could say, okay, y'all could say it's a trauma, but me, I just treat it as some other stupid thing.
And insecurity, maybe.
An insecurity
Yeah.
per se, you understand? But it was only an insecurity up until high school. Because wow, when I got to high school, bruh, girls were like, bruh, I find you starting to be cute. I'm like, yeah.
And then you left it.
Mr. Tamo.
At that point, bruh, ne, I had already gotten my speech therapy.
Yeah.
So I was already good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now when I get this, just here and there.
Yeah.
And now because I also got my speech therapy in English, when I speak Istswana, yo guys, good rough. So now I would always, articulate myself properly, speaking English, and then, I would flow,
Yeah.
And then I tell people, good to know, I have a bit of a stutter. But it's no longer a stutter anymore. It's a bit of a stutter.
Yeah.
I know. And then I started this one girl since I was cute. Then one turns to two, and then I was like, why am I being so insecure? But as a kid, yeah, it did kind of bother me a lot. But because I've always been used to being alone. I've always been used to just getting up to nonsense alone. I was the guy that during break I would go to the back of the school, and get up to my own things. So what people said really didn't bother me that much because I didn't have a place for those people in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that developed me to be the type of person that that kind of that burns bridges quite easily. It's easy for me to burn a bridge. You know what I'm saying? As long as I feel like you're not giving you're not giving back what I'm giving out, dog, for me it's easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, dog, stuttering was not much of a childhood trauma, guys.
Your
It
stutter
was more
that
of an
cut.
experience.
Your
Yeah?
stutter was that cut in your deck that you used.
It was what?
That cut that you used in your deck whenever it got difficult.
Mfana, Joe, like I remember I used to tap my thighs sometimes to get shit going. Like I say, bro,
Yeah.
But it was more of an experience, Joe. It didn't really make me into an angry person or anything.
No, that's great.
Hey, Doug.
Hola, you know,
Zwakala.
so yeah, dog, like me stuttering, you know, it's not a childhood trauma, guys. Don't worry, I won't GBV because I stutter. Although I know some people that actually have stutters, actually they're very short-tempered. Actually, come to speak of it.
Yeah.
Like most people that I know that are started are very short-tempered because one, people mock them. Two, they are so impatient about themselves speaking. Sometimes they get so pissed. They're like, yeah, fuck, why don't they, like, you know?
So write it
So
down.
yeah, so I think to some people it might develop some form of anger.
Yeah.
You know, anger, bitterness, but yeah, me personally, it didn't do anything. I was lucky to have speech therapy. Maybe I would be a different person now. Who knows? You know,
Should make it clear that speech therapy is actually free, ne?
yeah, speech therapy is actually free, guys. Like, I don't know who's paying for speech therapy, but all I'm saying is that there are students that are doing speech therapy, you know, so they volunteer so that they can get their, practical things in order. So that's what I actually took advantage of at my school. But apparently some people actually charge for those things.
When you're qualified, yeah, when you're running your practice,
How?
when you're dealing with people that have money.
Hey, I get me
Or
now,
not in
not
any
those.
Not at school.
I know my daughter, she has a speech issue, so I take her to Metunsa because I started in Metunsa. I know those people around there, so I take her there.
Oh yeah. No, I think that's like actually a dope place to get a whole lot of good quality free things.
Because people sit back, they don't even know that we can actually fix this thing.
Nah.
Yeah, you should be an ambassador for that.
An ambassador for stuttering.
Without
Mount
derailing from the main
Gengeza.
conversation,
Mount
without
Gengeza.
derailing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mount
So
Gengeza
just moving
Qiniso.
on to the maybe I don't
Yeah.
know. We've touched on a lot of things
Yeah.
already. What kind of qualities or traits would you guys say that you look for in the people that you want to surround yourself with as a man?
Yeah.
Of course, sometimes I think brotherhood is very important, and sometimes we tell ourselves, yeah, my girlfriend is my best friend, my wife is my best friend, and your life just revolves around that. But I think the importance of being surrounded by your fellow brothers is very underrated, and it could bring a lot of benefits. For instance, there's a story I once read of this guy. This guy had a group of friends around him, and it's those guys that are always there with him, and they are there for support, no matter what kind of support. So his daughter was sick, and she was fighting for her life in hospital, and the friends of the guy actually came through to see the girl with some finances to help out, and brought flowers for the girl to feel well, and they were just like playing with the girl. And the following morning, the girl actually woke up and she was a bit better than yesterday. Things were promising now, and she actually sat her father down and was like, "It's great that your friends came through. I needed that support that they've given me." So those are one of the examples to show Guti. Really, you can't isolate yourself as a guy. You should have a certain amount of brothers around you who are going to support you and support the people that you are close with, most especially the women in your life, the girls in your life, not girls, but your daughters. So that's what I want to ask, is like, what's the most important qualities that you look for, or you should be looking for as a man, with the type of gents that you should be surrounding yourself with?
I'll try and answer that now. But I think, excuse me, I think sometimes, as friends, we grow into that kind of friendship zone based on the places we are in. So, for instance, childhood, your neighborhood. Some people, like Thapelo, for instance, he's a friend I grew up with from childhood.
Yeah.
You know, but later on we met a scale. You know, but there's also people you meet in school, and later on they become lifelong friends. Church, same thing, like the environments you're in, and so on and so forth. Workplace, those people you take forever with. But obviously you align yourself with a certain particular person within those groups, within those places.
Yeah.
With, okay, I kind of like gravitate to SK because 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you know, and that obviously boils down to the first topic we had, which is the characters. So if it aligns with who you are, and you are a person that maybe doesn't like going out, for instance, and now you've met Thapelo, and Thapelo doesn't seem to be that person either, and yet you guys like hanging out together, and it's like, nah, let's just maybe go to, I don't know, watch something, you know, at a I don't know, stadium, whatever the case is, but you just enjoy each other's company, and then it later just becomes that thing where it's okay, now we're always hanging out, and those kind of stuff, and then later on you come across I won't say life-changing experiences, but what you just mentioned now, where that guy's daughter was in hospital and all that, that's a life-changing experience, you know, and that same person will be there to be a hand or whatever the case is, but not all your friends will be there for you in every situation.
Yeah, of course.
You know, there's a friend that's going to be there for you when you are in need. There's a friend that's going to be there when you want to go out, you know, or just have company with you. So there's like different types of people for different kind of situations.
Yeah.
So
so basically there's no
one kind
set
of
qualities that you can say it's an
I mean,
umbrella
it's a choice. It's a choice.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I'm saying it boils down to your character as well, because you as a person can be that person that just has gang friends. You just have a lot of friends. You know, I know, for instance, that I have a lot of friends. You know, I might not hang out with them all at once, but I have friends that I grew up with. I have friends that I went to school with, and I still have connections in all these like environments, you know, but I won't now call all of them all at once and say, okay, now guys, let's hang out, because those personalities might clash also. You know, but I am neutral in all those kind of situations. I'm the person that brings people together, you know, so it's that kind of situation with me. But for someone else, they might just choose to have just one group of friends and that's it. You know, there's no other group of friends.
I would really like to second that, because I also experienced that, right? I know a lot of people, I meet a lot of people, and because of my outgoing personality I somehow get to find a balance with each and every single person, because I know each and every person has a different personality. And they all express themselves in different ways. Like, I'm not saying I accept everyone. You know, I also have a boundary. You know, but if you're this type of person and whatnot, then I'd rather keep this. But most people that I meet, I end up being really, you know, very close and in touch with them, you know. But then, as you said, I can't bring them all together to be in one space, because they're just two different people. And I think also that I think I'm a different person when I'm with this one and with this one. You know,
definitely.
But my core values are still there. You know what I'm saying? So I think it is a very complicated one to know what type of circle you want to, because the circle, well, my circle and I think his is very diverse. You know, you find a responsible one, you find the irresponsible one, you find the drunkard, you find the stoner, you know. So I think it like the circle that you keep, I think there has to be one core value that you see in every person.
You know, I'll be honest, I feel like it's not a conscious decision. It's actually our subconscious that take over and say that now that is the kind of friend, somebody that you would like to keep close. You don't even know. You find yourself being you enjoy that person's company. Right? The person may be different for you, but you enjoy the person's company, because maybe there's some slight element that you and that particular person, I won't say him because it can be a he, a she as well, right? You guys have that blends you guys well together, right? Taking into context when you said the circle, I remember a friend of mine, we celebrate his 30th birthday. You just said bought a lot of water.
Yes.
And then at the end of the day, the guy made a speech and said, if we were to study the circle very carefully, we would realize that not every part of the circle, they don't have the same angle. They all differ. So somewhere, somehow, with all those different angles, we come together, we make that circle, we become friends with different perspectives in life, different experiences, but somehow we close the thing and become a circle of friends.
No, I feel you.
So just to ask a question, like how do you think it's like what are the challenges to bring, like as one common friend, what are the challenges to bring like a certain group of people together? Because I just want to know the balance.
You know, I often feel like for instance, I came here through Ali, right? If he wanted to like I'm not blending well with you guys, he would find himself lingering between the two, facilitating the conversation. I think that's the part where it gets difficult. Maybe when the person gets into an environment, don't try to hold yourself back. Just understand the people around you.
Be yourself.
Right? Blend in with the people. Enjoy whatever they do. You know what's that saying?
Do what the Romans do.
Do what the Romans
When you're
do,
in
but
Rome.
not necessarily do the crime, right?
I know. No. Okay.
Yeah, but I also wanted to say that, like, as friends, there's always that value that we all like, that one value we all share. There has to. If there's a group of people with different personalities and all that, there's that one thing that we all share together. Like, they drink together.
Yeah.
Others, they work together. It's because of their speciality. Maybe graphic designers, or designers, or creatives per se, or beat makers, musicians, and all that.
Yeah.
Like, but talking to you, like, they're friends because of that specific thing.
Yeah.
Like that's what I wanted to say. In most cases, it happens like that. There's one thing that we share that brings us together. If maybe Nceba is our friend, he's that one thing that brings us together. The reason we are here all together is because he's that one thing.
Yeah. So, Yawanda, when you say that you're getting closer to what I was actually asking for, maybe I lacked better sentence structuring when I was asking the question. For instance, there's 4 qualities I would personally say that is common in each and every one that I'm friends with, or in each and every one that maybe one would possess one quality, not all. Maybe one would possess 3 qualities. One. So it's 4. Courage, being strong, competitiveness, and honor. Let me just break them down. With being strong, initially with being strong, I mean in a matter of mentally. Like, I just need to surround myself with people who are strong, whether it's physically. Ngamathambo mina, so it's good ukuthi uNceba ukhona la lendoda yabona. So ngiyazi ukuthi if ever shit hits the fan, these niggas are here. I'm told. If ever mentally I'm being challenged by something, or there is something that's challenging uNceba, I know ukuthi he's strong mentally, and it's unlikely ukuthi he would just resort to doing some things that would end his life, or he would actually seek out help instead. So that's what I mean by being strong. And then the second one would be courageous. Imagine associating with yourself with someone who's weak. Like, you know for sure that this person is weak. If ever they want to become a better version of themselves, or they have a dream that they need to fulfill, they'll be weak and scared. What if I fail? What if I don't want to associate myself with that type of person. So I want to associate myself with someone who's gonna be courageous and say, hey, look, I know there's chances that I might fail, but I've done my research to prevent the things that could possibly make me fail. But here, I want to do this. And they are like, okay, I need help because someone is better at this and someone is better at this, and we might come together and fulfill whatever dream that I want to fulfill. So that's being courageous. And thirdly, it would be competency or mastery. They should have at least one thing that they are best in, whether it's a certain physical skill. Untwana can do graphic design, Untwana can do websites, Untwana can do videos, Cubic can do 3D something. So you know, that person is competent, they are actually in a path where they have to master something. For instance, Untwana Khutso is the guy who taught me the business side of things, because I was only about skills and doing the thing now to be cool. But Untwana equipped me with the skills which as much as you are best at something, but you need to be able to make money in this. So that's mastery for me. Those are the people that are surrounding me. And lastly, it's honor. I know Uchi, these people won't betray me. They will actually honor the relationship that we have. So, and I think that those are adaptable to each and every single guy out there. Those are the qualities I think we can be looking for when we say we want friendships. And with each and every person, I was watching podcast yaga Trevor Noah this week, no Jay Shetty. He was like, in each and every one in our lives, they never experience one version of ourselves. They experience a piece of us, and that piece is a whole to them, and that's what they are exposed to. And we get to offer that to that person, and it's different from what this person is getting and what this person is getting.
That's what
and so with with each and every of those pieces of yourself that you give to these people, you will find those 4 qualities.
You know?
Yeah. Sondela, nine Mike.
Come through, man. Come through. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together at home for Khutso, the man who taught the man of the hour.
Come this side.
Good time, bro.
What you are saying, the 4 qualities you are mentioning,
yeah,
I agree with you. But then Untwana mentioned something about this not being a conscious decision. You choose my friends.
Yeah.
It just happens uguti ufuna irumu kwa mama Zala, and then we become friends. We talk.
Yeah.
And then it happens uguti wena umngani ka Ali, and then we become friends.
Yeah.
Then now how do you pick out those qualities?
It boils down to a character with wena ufuna, because there's people we didn't click with. We crossed paths now, but we just didn't click with. So even those qualities are not like conscious with, I'm looking for this type of person. As long as you have your values, when you know with this is the type of person I am, this is what I'm aspiring for, these are my values. They stay at the back of your mind. And so in each and every decision you make, like you would go crazy if ever you had to make those type of decisions each and every single time. I have to do this now. So meaning I have to click with this type of people. That's the job of our subconscious. It just stores whatever we are conscious about, and then however we move and the decision we make, we think they are unnatural, but basically they are stored in our subconscious, and it's helping us make these decisions without even requiring a lot of effort from us to actually make those decisions.
So every time you meet somebody, they're on an interview, probably you could be my friend.
But I think that's how we are subconsciously, because whether or not people want to admit it, but each and every person you see, you subconsciously judge. You scale them, like you look at the person, okay, what type of person could he be, and then if it's a person that you get to interact with, that's another level of analysis. I mean, you analyze a person by what they're doing, what they say, their habits and all of that. And then from taking in all that information, when you are at home all alone, that's when you subconsciously think of okay, I can hang with this guy, or what guy is doing 1, 2, 3, I don't really mess with, you know what I'm saying? And because of this, I'll choose to stay away. So I don't know if I'm touching on.
Yeah, and it happens like in age.
Yeah,
that's something we always say.
And that's so unexplained.
You can't explain it.
Yeah.
But it's basically your subconscious guiding you because it knows what you want and where you want to be as a person.
I think. Khotman said something interesting. You were saying that chiller with older guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, older friends. Me, when I was 16, I used to chill with Khotman said they were like 25, 26, even 30 years old, right? But that was because Nekerato, like I like to chill at this other salon, hair salon. So I would get like a free haircut and then I would chill there maybe after school, play some checkers, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll be honest with you guys, what I took in from those gentlemen made me who I am today. Reason why, I will make an example, right? A simple concept of driving, just driving a car. When you're between the age of 16 and let me say 20, right, as a young man, driving a car is fun, right? And you sometimes get carried away, you know? You find a nice car, a nice Golf, whatnot, you get carried away, right? I was told by those guys, Gucci, you know what, boy, I know you're young and I know you're quick, your reflexes are quick. But one thing you have to understand is that with cars, you have to be patient because it only takes one mistake to take your life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And honestly, just from my opinion, I don't think any of my peers would have told me something like that in that order. And because I got that information, today I can safely say, Gucci, ever since I started driving at the age of 16, I've never had even one car accident. One time. So I don't know if it's because of that lesson that I took in that created this sub-paranoia consciousness of my driving and what I do and when I do it. But such lessons for me, I took them even till today. That guy's lesson still lives on. So I think the circle that I surrounded myself with at the time that I was 16, it sped up sort of my responsibility, maturity, grasp type thing. I don't know how to put it, but yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at 16, I started to like wearing formal way more often. I started to like jazz, funny enough, which I still do now, you know? I started to want to see myself in a more mature stage because I felt, Gucci, you know what? As much as certain things that my peers are doing are fun, but what is this going to benefit me in the future? Because before the age of this, I want to have a child, wife, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that is the type of mindset that it built towards me, you know? And I could safely say, Gucci, it saved me a lot of money and a lot of headache. Money, I'm saying, guys, side chicks are not free. They're expensive. So if you feel, Gucci, you're still young, you want to play around, that's going to be expensive. A guy that's married is going to tell you, Gucci, guy, a wife is going to save you money. You know what I'm saying? If you have a nice wife that has a good head over her shoulders, she's going to save you money and she's going to build whatever that you guys are pushing together. So these are the mindsets, or these are the statements that kind of shaped my mindset to be who I am today. About Grot mental, always have respect for them. You know what I'm saying? And also my peers as well, I will have respect for them. But I mostly appreciated the advice that I gotten from older gentlemen than I did from my peers. And that for me is the circle that till today I'm like, yo, you know what, if I didn't have that, I wonder what my values would be. You know, I wonder if I would be the type of guy to take off his shoes when I step onto a carpet. Because not everybody does that. You know what I'm saying? So those small things, you know, small advices from Grot Mensa actually changed and shaped my mentality to be where I'm at. And don't get me wrong, there are some Grot Mensa out there that will mislead you.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why. Sorry to cut you off.
no stress.
It also goes with the environment, more holistic, I would say. And also this thing of growing up without a father, growing up with a father, it makes a difference.
Yeah,
a big difference.
It does.
Big
That
difference.
does.
Now, okay, level from my side, I think if I had grown up with my father present, things would have turned out differently. Like which is when I say the decisions that we should know.
Sure.
That I known or 1, 2, 3, right? So the environment, father figure, all of those things they count. Right, so yeah.
And
Did you grow up with a father or without?
I grew up with a father.
You're the only one here.
I know, dog, hey,
Wow.
yo, daddy, you are present. Daddy, you are present. It's just that my dad worked at the mine, so I would stay with my mom a lot. But my dad has always been present.
but he was there.
Yeah,
That's
he's always
proper.
been present.
That's
Yeah,
proper.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
proper.
they
I
say I'm
think,
brutally gymming, but he does not gymming anymore.
yeah, I think just to wrap up the conversation, we can have one last talking point and then.
Yeah,
we'll
just
wrap it up.
to wrap up the gentlemen's the men's conference gentlemen's topic.
Yeah.
Yes, just to wrap that up, gents. I just want to find out from any one of you guys, Jorge, with what do you think the benefit of actually us talking about such issues, one, expressing how we feel about certain issues, and also talking about how we also got help, the kind of help that we got. Ne? What kind of benefit would we like us as men right now to have on the future generation? Because as men today, we are fighting social issues that other men are creating for us. So what I'm trying to find out from you guys is that what other thing can we put in place to actually help men at large to actually be more emotionally intelligent, so that
Develop their character, their
yes,
mindset,
to develop
and
their
advance
character,
their
mindset.
circles, yeah.
Yes, what do we need to put in place? And also just to look into certain initiatives that governments and whatnot that they're putting in place. Are they working? Are they not?
I think one thing we've mentioned a lot of therapy. You mentioned speech therapy, and I didn't even know that it was free until you mentioned it. So those kind of things are worth knowing, But yes, to emphasize on that, I think we do need therapy as gents. This is also a form of therapy. It's affordable, cheap. You just pour your glass of water and you just hash it out.
It's not Oros now, it's water.
Nah, it's water.
Oros is expensive.
Hey, dog, interest rates keep going up, so might as well just go to the
Companies will
tap.
be complaining now, eh?
Yeah. So we can start with therapy. Whatever form you find close to you. This is, as I was saying, this is therapy.
Yeah.
We can meet up. It can be a weekly thing, a monthly thing, biannual, whatever it is that works for everyone.
Yeah.
Hear each other out and pick each other's brains, and you get to understand that I'm actually not the only one that went through a certain situation in life, and hearing how they maneuvered around that, I could probably try 1-2 from their life experiences and apply it to my situation and see how that or where it leads me to.
So we should have more gatherings and guys and try to be more truthful to one another. It could be a drink, it could be a braai.
Yeah, I mean, a link up shouldn't always just be about
Pose and chicks.
Pose
and chicks.
Yeah.
But emphasis on the therapy part, especially on early childhood development.
Yeah.
Because most of them are the ones who are facing these things and they grow up with them.
So basically, because we are the parents of today. We are the new parents of today.
As much as we don't like that fact, it is.
Because even kids look at us and like, hey, man, hey, and it's still weird to hear, but you're like, hey, fuck, it's actually, I am the hot man now. So it's up to us to take, as you were saying, take our kids to therapy, because we experienced these things at a young age. Had we had these things in place then, we could have been different now. So take your kids wherever it is that there's counseling in schools also. Take your kids. I think sometimes you also have this stigma with I don't want people to know my business. But now you prohibiting your kid from growing up any different from your childhood traumas or anything. But if anything, you're just passing down your childhood traumas to your kid. And then it becomes generational. And then it's a curse now, because everyone's gonna drag that shit. Next, you just could have broken that cycle by just doing something different.
Just break some behavioral patterns, and that's it.
Another chance in the question. Okay, I understand this gathering is some sort of therapy. But then I want to ask about the real therapist, because I saw this post on Twitter. Someone said already buy Hennessy, they go for 400, then to pay therapist 1,500 to 1 hour. Yeah, to actually tell me forgive yourself. So you have to forgive yourself and then you pay 1.5. I just want to understand whether the real therapist, they are real wiki.
Based on what you just said, thinking about that concept, someone telling you to forgive yourself, we forget that. Think about how many times you actually tell yourself, you know what, never, it's fine, dog. It's okay. Instead, I know for me personally, I have a personality of I worry a lot.
You know, and I forget that it's okay for things not to go your way sometimes. You know, and then you constantly need to remind yourself. But if you can't, you need someone.
Somebody to remind you.
And if your friend can't do that for you, then you're gonna need a professional.
And unfortunately,
as much as to that person it makes more sense to buy a Henny. To that person. But what are they doing? They're looking at. I mean, they rather look at the bottom of the bottle instead of face their problem.
How long will it last?
Exactly.
Exactly. It leads to addiction.
So it's numbing their problem.
It leads to addiction. It's basically suppressing. So the first thing is, well, it's two things. You just need to find a good therapist who's just not just tell you to forgive yourself and then it ends there, but it will be a session where they break everything down and ask you questions so that you can face the difficult issues that you're going through and that you've been going through. And secondly, it's you as a person. If you're a person who's avoidant, you're not gonna see the need of a therapist. Like, you just don't. And you better face the bottom of the bottle. And long term, as Ashuntwan, it's gonna fucking kill you.
You know, just to add on to the point that SK Nejo, I understand Guti, therapy to some people is not appealing. Ne? Therapy is just a person who is very aware of what they're saying, helping you to make you aware of a good listener. It's a person that helps you to make you aware of your problems, because sometimes as people we are not honest with ourselves, and then we need that external force to be like, nah, but here you fucked up.
We want to be held
and
accountable.
You need to pick up your doo-doo and go flash it. You know, and I feel like if you had that Hennessy bottle and that person there, it would not be a bad mixture. But the Hennessy bottle can't tell you, yeah, my guy, no, you have to, no, you're gonna pass out after that.
Oh yeah, I was opposed to
So
remember
that video of that guy, he was fighting somewhere and his friends in the car were laughing at him, bro. Like, oh, bro, man, I was crying. I don't know, he had to start like 7K or something. And so, guy cried, bro.
You know who I find to be very therapeutic? Our partners. You know, in the middle of the night, brother, you're sleeping, that you on that lotto dream, but you know you fucked up there, right?
A partner like that.
Calls you out.
A real partner, one that builds you. I think we'll cover picking partners on a future episode. It's the part 2 of this conversation. So we were doing last words. Did you finish, Dan?
No, I think.
On the question that you asked.
I'd say, based on what you're saying, I think as gents we need to realize that being vulnerable is not necessarily weakness. We need to accept that we are vulnerable to some degree, and maybe try to integrate emotions into being, not emotions saying but being emotional to situations. Like, you know, when they say that into Taikali, those things, truth be told, there are some situations that I remember when I lost my best friend, I had to step out of the room to actually go cry. It was painful, right? But then we are vulnerable to some degree. We need to realize that.
While paying attention who we are vulnerable to. And as guys, I think we should cry to one another. That's totally fine.
Not necessarily expressing tears, but nikulume.
And some situations are different. You can get heated up. If ever you need to cry in front of your nigga, do that. And we also should equip ourselves as niggas to deal with that, because I don't know how to deal with a nigga that's crying. I don't know how to
you know what?
So we should also learn to do that as well.
Just to help you with that, just to help you with that, I remember my first experience of somebody doing that to me. We were talking with a guy, it was the 31st, bro. One of my best friends now. We were talking, like, we were broke that night, Joe. Like the 31st, we were broke. We in some beat up Audi, bro. and we're just looking at life passes by, bro. Man. And this homie of mine was just literally just pouring his heart out, bro. Just telling me how fucked up of a situation we are in. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not celebrating fuck all. We didn't achieve fuck all for the year. You know, it's just fucking stuck. And I remember that guy crying, bro. He was talking and then he ended up shedding a tear, you know? Although I'm not saying do what I did, but how I reacted from him, and literally gave him a joint, and I was like, bro, how are we gonna solve our problems? That was my response to him crying, because I understood why he was crying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was crying from a situation how the guy, we're in this situation, is bad. And I don't know what to do about it. And I'm like, bro, what are we gonna do about it? And then that's like, we're like, bro, now we need to, you know, start to make plans and whatnot. And then that's how we came up with a situation to better our lives and whatnot. And now we're in a different place.
Yeah.
Now every year, okay, although we're not in the same Audi, but we're in a different car, you know, living it up and saying, bruh, this year I did this, I did that, I did that, I did that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like that my guy crying, to some extent, it also triggered that sense of urgency in me. Be like, bro, this is real. You know, your guy's not fronting. This is real. So yeah, like guys crying, easiest way to solve it is just try to find a solution to what we're crying about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Any more just before we conclude the show, because we need to get on.
Asizwe language. What
Yeah,
does he
we're
have
just
to
doing
say?
It's been
a
silent.
roundup of
Yeah,
everyone's
It's been silent.
Yeah.
You know, in first year psychology, they have that help people.
Yeah.
The best psychologists or those therapists, they listen.
Yeah.
They listen, take in everything. So he's concluding it.
You must conclude now. You must conclude.
No, bro, Muti, this man cool check just to make sure with my shire where we cover and everything.
Yeah.
I understand. So that's why I'm lale and everything else. But then important with everything is covered. Some of the things is shielded, they're actionable, some they are not. It's just experiences.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So most of my experiences is nice because someone else get to maybe experience that and thinking if I could share, I would get help.
Sure.
Sometimes, but giving experiences at the same time giving actions, how to get to maybe do things better. You understand? Right? As Lana's mentioned, some of the things as a mindset. You understand? So the way conclude the way there are two people in one person. There's a person who's out here, then there's a person behind the closed door. You understand? Those are two different people. Sometimes just to pretend or khulume the language you understand? Just to be among us, don't feel like you left out. Sure. That's why in our language you just wanna fit in. But when you're behind the closed door, that's the real you. You understand? That's where you get to deal with real issues. That's where you get to choose friends. Not now maybe I choose a because when you came, if you I choose a coach, that means but that's not you. You understand?
The person in the mirror.
Yes. And it is some of the things we do them subconsciously. And they're using the seasons like every day.
Sure.
As we should take maybe but the next thing maybe it's time to share report there. The things we share, sometimes we're like, no, because of that, then I get to choose this person as a friend.
Sure.
Sometimes as you go getting close now doesn't mean you're my friend, because I believe there are people that I know that are my friends, then there are people that I call them friends, there are people that I say, these are my brothers. You understand? And zonke listen to this, these are zonke in the form of characteristics that you see, qualities that you see with. I saw these qualities and this person I can say this is the person that I know.
Sure.
And this is the person that I'm friends with. This is the person that I will say, this is my brother. Because you get to understand to that point. You understand? So it isn't this ganjaluti. At the end of the day, we get to a point that we have to break them down. So that everyone will understand. Not only us, but also then the therapy and the therapy actionable to a person that is watching. So it is in this is a trauma. A trauma no mas mention trauma. But if I get to a point that where I get to be real me behind the closed door, then I don't deal with that. Then it's useless. Because I would feel but then though maybe I help her at the end of the day, which at least I get to speak. You understand? But at the end of the day, you get to speak, then you get to do something about that. Then where do you get to point to do something about it? Behind the closed door, that's where you get to see what kahle ngine problem. Because sometimes I need to come with one. Uthi ngithi ukhulume nama-chance and mahle nama-chance so uyabona ukuthi kahle ngine problem la. Then maso you-one then so uyabona ukuthi I have to deal with it. Uyabona? Sometimes abanye abantu as usho ukuthi ba-ignorant. U-ignorant because you don't get to speak about your problems kubanye abantu. But masihlela sikhuluma ngabo-cherry ukuthi izolobe ngiprove aphi zonke lezi zinto lezi azikhona ukuthi zithikela part yakho odila nayo and problem kuwo. Then it's pointless. Ayeke vele ufike sozokhuluma ukuthi cabanga nje sithi ngiyakutherapist ngiyomtshela lo muntu ukuthi i-girlfriend yami ngihethile. Uzovisa ngihleke. Uyamthola into ezikanjalo. Bese like masoyenza isense leso sijenza vele uyahanya. Asithenga ibhiya sibe grand. Uyangithola ecineni vele ayenza isense. But we need the chance ukuthi as emergency be honest. Ukhona ukuhlala nawo, ukhona ukukhuluma nama-chance and mawuba ukukhuluma nama-chance ayicala ukuthi ukhulume nama-chance mazokhuluma nama-chance. But uqala ukhona ukukhuluma nawe. If I can speak to myself and ngibe honest ngiyi-one ngihlele erumini ngikhona ukuthi ngikhulume maybe nge-childhood yami usho ukuthi nezinto ezikanje engikhule ngazo. And lezi zinto ngidile kanjani manje zingi-affecta kanjani ngulo muntu onguye today. It's because of izinto lezi. If then uyabona ukuthi there's a guy problem, then ayeke uvese uye ku-therapist, but you need to speak to someone who close. Can be maybe girlfriend because abanye abantu they feel free. Then it can be maybe friend, maybe can be umakhelwane. You understand? Then lezi zinto lezi khona ukuthi open up ubone ukuthi sometimes manje yazi ngidinga ukuthi ngihambe ku-professionalist ozokhona ukuthi anginike ama-task engizokhona ukuthi ngiwenze ngikhona ukudila ne-problem ekanje. Lapho ukhona ukuthi u-conscious mawuzodila ngezinto ezikanjalo. So le into eyinani ene-action. You understand? Then ukhona ukustudy i-childhood trauma yakho then ube nayo. Then ukhona ukudefine i-character yakho ukuthi are you still there or are you living here? Because sometimes uyakhona ukuphila lapha but I'm still living there.
Sure.
So that means you're not cautious, you're just subconscious. Then you're thinking, this is me, that's not you. But you're still living in your past. You're still living in an abusive house, you're still living in what? That's why I'm going to buy a machita pizza, abuse abantu ababhaya. Lo muntu sometimes uthi akusuye lo muntu lo straight. Usaphila na. And we uthola aphi incedo. Ukuthi I realize ukuthi une problem. And the problem we realize one. And sometimes ziba triggered ukuthi ukhulume nama-chance then from there masesendlini then uyafika ukuthi shit inento engiyirealizile i-problem ngami then uyakubuya then udila nalento leyo kanjalo then from there then ukhona ukuthi soba nama-character ukhona ukwa-define ukuthi yabona mina uze now today ngikhona ukuchoose i-friend ngidinga i-friend ezoba honest now. Sure. If I fucked up you understand?
Call you out.
Uyangithola. So izinto khona ukuthi lezo khona uyipointe out ukuthi this person is my friend. Then ukhona ukuthi umuntu wazi ukuthi this person I call him my brother is because I know ukuthi if I fuck up uyangitshela and if I need him he's there.
Yeah.
You understand? So izinto ezikanjalo ukhona ukuthi ukhona ukuyibheka and once wakhona ukuthi uyidefine wena and know who you are. Who is ukuthi ukhona ukudefine umuntu ofuna ukuthi abe ku-cycle yakho. Because you can't define a person to be a cycle, you can't even define yourself. That's pointless.
It's hard, right?
I think closing. I don't know if any closing words.
Final word there,
That's my man. That's how you go.
What am I closing with?
No, I know that's a very strong conclusion right there from Brother Ali there, man. Like, there's nothing that can better articulate what he just said.
Yeah.
All in agree with Ali's conclusion, say aye. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us for our first segment. This is the first of three.
Yeah, this is the first of three.
This is the first of three. We're gonna have another one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us on the first official men's conference. Brother SK.
Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and take care of your podcasts. This is the Empty Street Podcast, and we signing out.
I like your boy.
Yeah, I like your boy.